Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order as it is 5 p.m. So first, we'll open it to the public if anyone has anything they would like to ask or discuss.
I'm Bill Dillow with Ames Town and Gown, and yes, I was looking at my calendar, and our season opening concert is before your next meeting, so I'll go ahead and announce that will be our opening concert is with the Beijing Guitar Duo on Friday, September the 29th. This is despite the name, the two women in the guitar duo met in China, but they trained in the United States and are based here now. 6:30, they're going to give a presentation about their concert, and then the actual concert starts at 7:30.
Thank you.
Nice.
Anyone else? Okay, we will then move on to the next item on our agenda for approval of the August 4th, 2025 minutes. I know we did have one correction noted in the email about attendance being updated.
Well, he wasn't here when the meeting started, when it was called to order. So that's why he's listed. This is fair.
Oh, this is a Robert's rules.
This is a formality of the way that the minutes are done. So
Yeah.
Okay.
It was correct.
Thank you for the
It's
clarification.
correct but misleading.
It appears misleading, I suppose, but it was right.
Okay, all right. So if I can have a movement to approve
I move to approve as they are.
and a second.
Second.
Okay, and those all in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, the minutes will stand approved as is. Next on the agenda is our fiscal year 2025-2026 annual grant and spring 2026 special project grant workshop.
All right. Well, I'd like to welcome everybody who's here for the grant workshop. This will be just a brief presentation outlining some of the key dates and requirements that are important to keep in mind as you consider applying for 2027 fiscal year 2027 annual grants or spring 2026 special project grants with the Commission on the Arts. So briefly, we'll go over the annual grants, then we'll discuss the special project grants, and then at the end, there'll be an opportunity for questions if there are any. So for the annual grants, attending tonight's workshop is not required. It used to be many years ago, but it is no longer required. It is strongly recommended, however, and this presentation will be posted on the Commission's website so that people who were unable to attend will have the opportunity to take a look at it and ensure that they're up to speed on what the requirements are this year. The application deadline for the annual grants these are due in the city manager's office by 5 p.m. on October 17th. You can submit them electronically or via paper. We prefer them to be electronically submitted, and the address to submit it is listed at the bottom of the screen here, coda@cityofames.org. What's really critical is that if your application is late beyond that deadline, it will not be considered. And it's important to also fill out the forms that are in the application packet and not substitute your own forms or include extra documents that aren't necessary. The Commission has to review a lot of material when it's considering all of these different applications, and it's important that they are able to see them on the same standardized form so they can get an apples-to-apples comparison. The annual grant hearings will be held on November 3rd, 2025. This is a required meeting for anybody who is interested in applying for funding for an annual grant. There are time slots available, 5 minutes at a time for each organization. There is a sign-up sheet here. If you know what time you would like to sign up for right away, you can fill that in, or after tonight's meeting, you can either email the coda@cityofames.org address or call Jeremy Neefus in the city manager's office at the phone number that's listed, and you can sign up for one of the available times. It's important that you try to be here at the meeting at least 15 minutes or so before your scheduled hearing time, because occasionally the group does run a little early. Not often, but sometimes it's a little early, and it would be helpful if everybody is able to be here so that they can proceed through so the commission can proceed through the hearings. The hearings are an opportunity for the applicants to tell a little bit about what they're asking for. It's not necessarily to repeat everything that's going to be in the application, but perhaps a 1 or 2 minute brief overview, and then for the commissioners who have read the applications to ask any questions that they might have about the materials that have been submitted. They'll be held here in the council chambers. And then after that meeting, the commission will go and make their funding recommendations. They'll learn from the city council how much funding is available for them to allocate out to the different organizations. They'll make their recommendations, and those recommendations will be posted in the city manager's office on January 12th of 2026. And we will endeavor to email out the information to all of the applicants as well, so they know what the recommendations were. Ultimately, it's up to the city council to approve the contract amounts and place the funding in the budget. But the commission's recommendation is typically accepted as it is made without adjustment by the city council. So who is eligible for this funding? Well, if you're a for-profit organization or a governmental organization, you're not eligible. If you fall outside of those two categories, you are eligible. So long as you are located in Ames, have a mission or bylaws or other organizing documents for your organization that contain specific arts-related goals. You will need to abide by our non-discrimination requirements, and those are listed in the contract. And then you'll also need to, wherever possible, indicate that the programming that you've provided through this funding is supported in part through the local option tax funds provided by the City of Ames through the Commission on the Arts. So we ask for a recognition of that in printed materials, on websites, wherever it seems appropriate and possible to include that recognition. In your application, you'll be asked a variety of questions, but ultimately you'll need to demonstrate that you have a need for the financial support, that you look for ways to obtain funds elsewhere beyond the grant that CODA would be providing you. So that could look like other fundraising opportunities, membership dues. It could look like ticket sales for events that could be easily ticketed. We're also going to be looking for an assurance that the organizers who are applying for the funding, who would be entrusted with the funding, are fiscally responsible. Some experience with grants and compliance with the requirements of grants. And ultimately, CODA is seeking to find out who will be served by the programming that you're going to be putting on, and how will that occur. Though that's ultimately the key question that the grant application should answer. There are a handful of categories that are ineligible for funding. What the grant application, what the grant process is really trying to do is provide, through your agency, provide services for the community that the commission is seeking to buy. The commission is buying those services. So the commission is not seeking to pay for the types of activities that are indicated here, because these are things that benefit the organization and not the community through the programming that the organization is going to put on. So there's a list of specific ineligible criteria, and those are provided in the application instructions document. The application form contains a couple of different components. One is an overall organization summary. One is a description of what you intend to do with the financial support that's provided. One is a page that outlines how you're promoting your services and programming to the community. One is an assurance that you'll comply with all of the requirements for city funding. And then we also ask for some financial information, an organization budget, and then a balance sheet for the previously completed fiscal year. Let's say you're awarded funding through this program. You will complete the programming that's indicated in the scope of services in your contract. And then after the service has been provided, you can seek reimbursement from the City of Ames to draw that funding down. The payment requests can be made at any time during the fiscal year that the grant is for. But ultimately, at the end of the fiscal year, so July or June 30th of 2027, we need those payment requests in if you intend to draw down any remaining funding under your grant. We ask that the payment requests be submitted no later than the first week in July for the previous fiscal year, just to make sure that we get everything wrapped up as quickly as possible after the fiscal year. If we go longer than that, we are obligated to provide some extenuating circumstances and rationale for why it could not be drawn down much earlier. And so we ask the agencies to draw their funding down as soon as they can after their programming has occurred, no later than the first week in July. Then following the year in which the program, in which the grant has been provided, you have until the last Monday of July to complete a final report. The final report outlines essentially how did the programming actually turn out compared to what you had anticipated at the time that you submitted the grant proposal. So who attended, the demographics of the attendees, where it's possible to know that, financial information. That information is contained on the city's website as well, where you would find the grant application materials. So you can start looking at that anytime, but it's not due until the last Monday of July. So that covers our annual grants. I'll briefly go over the spring special project grants. A lot of the material is going to be similar, but one key difference is that these grants are for special projects, special opportunities and circumstances that could not be anticipated within CODA's annual grant process. So this grant period is for activities that are going to occur between January 1 of 2026 and June 30th of 2026. So something unique and different that was not known about at the time that you applied for an annual grant for this current year. The program may not be funded if it was something that you applied for in the annual grant process and then were denied funding for. So you cannot duplicate something that you had previously proposed to put on unless you modify it significantly from how you initially proposed it. This is an outline of what the calendar looks like for the spring 2026 special project grants. So again, the January 1st through June 30th of 2026 timeframe. Today is the workshop that we're having. The applications are due September 19th, and we will hold hearings at the October CODA meeting on October 6th. Those hearings are important to attend if you're applying for this special project grant funding, so that you can again outline what you intend to do with the funding and present responses to any questions the commission might have. Once you've completed the hearings, CODA will make its recommendations, and you'll receive notice of that on November 3rd. And then again, your payment requests will be due no later than the first week in July, and the final reports are due the first or the last Monday in July as well. The organizations that are eligible for this funding are the same as those who are eligible for the annual grants, so I won't repeat them. And the funding criteria are similar to the annual grant requirements, except for one major component, and that is the second bullet here. In the annual grant process, there is a need to demonstrate efforts to obtain funds elsewhere. For the special project grant process, you have to demonstrate that it is at least 25% of your funding sources are from elsewhere than the CODA grant. So the CODA grant can make up no more than 75% of your project financing. Other than that change, all of the rest of the criteria are the same as the annual grant process. And all of the same things that are ineligible for funding under the annual grant are ineligible for funding in the special project grant. So again, we're looking for tying the grant proposal to how will people in the community be served, how will the arts be advanced through your grant project that you're going to pursue through the funding. The submittals need to be signed by somebody who's authorized to do so on behalf of the organization. You don't need to provide supporting materials, but if you find the need to, you may include a separate narrative to more fully explain the proposal. You are not obligated to do that. You can simply fill out with the space available in the application, and that is perfectly acceptable. But if you feel the need to more fully explain your information, you can submit something separately along with the application. Again, you're recommended to attend this presentation or watch it online afterwards, but you must attend the hearing at the next CODA meeting in order to receive funding in the special project grant application period. The applications can come to the city manager's office. The website, or I'm sorry, the email is the preferred approach, coda@cityofames.org. You're certainly welcome to contact us if you have any questions about either of the grant programs. For the spring 2026 special project grants, there is up to $1,000 is available for each grant award. I don't recall off the top of my head how much the total pot of money is, but I recall it's fairly substantial this year because we did not have that many fall special project grants. So this would be a good opportunity if you're considering a spring special project grant. There is probably a more sizable amount of money to be able to be distributed to the various organizations than there are in typical years. Here's my contact information. If you have any questions, again, you're welcome to contact coda@cityofames.org. That goes to me and to Jeremy Neefus, who's our administrative staff who assists greatly with this process. If you have any questions about the application or difficulty filling it out, feel free to contact us and we're glad to assist in whatever way is possible. So with that, I'll take any questions there might be.
I'm Nathan Moore with the Creative Artist Studios of Ames. We plan to apply for some more programming this fall, but I'm asking on behalf of some of the artists that are part of our organization. Do you provide, say if they individually want to apply, is there fiscal sponsorship available?
So the historically, CODA has only provided funding for arts organizations rather than individuals.
What if they apply through an organization like CASA or like that sponsor? As a fiscal sponsor?
I don't know, as I've seen that before, and I can't speak for whether the commission would accept that or not. I think if they have a specific concept for what they're considering, if they want to get in touch with me, I can work with you to give my best advice. But generally, generally it's geared more towards benefiting an overall organization rather than something that supports an individual artist. Any other questions? Okay, well, that wraps it up for me.
Okay, so last on our agenda is upcoming dates, which we basically covered in the workshop as well. But just as a reminder, The spring 2026 special projects grant applications are due September 19th. I believe, is this supposed to say 26, 27 for the application?
Oh, yes, it should.
Okay.
My mistake.
Sorry for clarification. So our fiscal year 2026-27 annual grant applications are due October 17th. And then our next meeting will be October 6th, where we will have our spring 2026 special projects grants hearing. It's a mouthful. Does anybody have anything else that they would like to add before we adjourn?
Just a quick correction to the agenda. That's also, should be a 26.
Correct. And I believe in item 4, it should have been 2026, 27. I think I misspoke on that. Okay. All right. Well, I think our time is up anyway because there's another meeting coming in. So I appreciate everyone being here and we will adjourn our meeting.